What's going on, Wolfpack? My name is Frosty, aka the Alpha Like and Rock, and today I'm bringing you guys another draft analysis video. This one is for the international. Okay, I thought it was international, but whatever. International Competitive Battling League, aka the ICBA. This is a league that was started up by Johnny GB, who is coach of the Oregon Ducklets. There we go. I can speak properly. This league is going to be a very, very, very competitive league, as there are a lot of good Pokemon battlers in this league. Just to give you a heads up on it, we got members from the IBL, the PCM. I believe we also have some from, not the MPL. What's the other one? I think it's the MPL. I could be wrong on that one, but definitely some big ones in here, especially in our conference, as we've been broken down into two conferences, which is the Sun Conference and the Moon Conference. We are in the Moon Conference, and I believe we're in the Akala division, if I remember correctly. Go to the main page here. Yes, we are in the Akala division. Now, our division has some very good battlers, as we have the coach, the Burger Kingler, and I can't remember the name of the coach on that one. I believe it's, if I remember correctly, it is Merc of the Burger Kingler, and then we have Tesla Mouse of the Charlotte Hornets, Charlotte B Drills. Tesla Mouse I know from Twitch, very good battler, and then we have the UCL Season 2 champion, 6 Foot Hacks, and his Durham Drudigans. Oh man, I'm not looking forward to that, as we do have to face him twice this season. We also have to face Tesla Mouse twice this season too. So it's going to be very interesting for us, as they both have very good teams. All three of them have very good teams and could easily win this league. As like I said, there's a lot of different coaches, as we have, Tone and Top, and I never remember his name. I just know him as Top. Super Gassy, Deebs from the RBL that we know of. Sorry, my throat here. Jacob, as always, he's in here. Neo's Neon Zero, and the Alabama Crimson Surf coach. I never remember his name. I think it's Hispanic, as I could be wrong on that one. And then Tone as well. And there's a lot of really, really good battles. A lot of some people that I've watched do other leagues, and yeah, so there's a lot of very, very good people in this league, and it is the Inception season 1. So it's going to be very interesting, as it is for the. Let's get into the rules real quick, just so we can explain it. Mandatory uploads on Monday. Team builders optional. I don't know if I'll do team builders, but I'll probably maybe do a team builder before, as I've done before in the NPL, as you guys have seen. So what I might do is I might do just kind of an overview with the team that I've already have, just to kind of tell you guys how it, just kind of the set that I'm working with here, or I might just go into it with the battle and tell you, and just kind of go if it makes a difference. So with that old style GBA style draft, the different tiers, we have one, you draft your certain tiers, and you got 400 free points. We have tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3, tier 4, tier 5, and the Mega/S tier. I will get into that in just a second. So with that, you have 400 free points. You can't go over, or you have to change them on out, all of that stuff. So okay. Now, with that, you heard me say the Mega/S tier. Now, the S tier is something that has been decided upon us, and they consist of mons that are very, very powerful. Ones that you don't want to link them together with. So, mons in this tier would be things like Kyurem Black, Landorus Eye, Pheromosa. If you were to put Kyurem Black and Pheromosa in the same team, it would be absolutely ridiculous. So in order to stop this, we put them in their own tier, and we said you can only get one, which basically gives everybody the same chance of getting something powerful out of it to get around it. So with that, we had to we had to decide what we wanted. So we did decide to allow megas. Now, megas allowed are the ones that are only available in the game at the time of the draft. The time of the draft was the end of March. So as of when that was happening, there were only small mega stones allowed. We decided not to allow certain ones like Salamence, Mega Metagross. Excuse me. We were on the fence with Mega Mawile, but we actually decided not to bring it. And then Mega Kangaskhan, with its nerf this generation, we were real close to bringing it back just to give it a season to see how it was going to do, but they decided that Mega Kangaskhan was not going to happen. So with that, no Mega Kangaskhan. But we still have some really good things like Mega Slowbro, Mega Pinsir, Mega Alakazam, Mega Charizards, all the megas that are allowed now. Mega Beedrill, just things like that. So they're still very, very good things. So with that, I think that's it for the rules. Oh, I'm sorry. We also decided 3 Zmons. So we get 3 Pokemon that are Zmons that are only allowed to hold the Z crystals. So I believe that's it for all of that. So let us go into the draft. Yeah, let's get into it now. So I believe we have everything that we need. Do we have everything we need? Yes. Okay. Yes, we do. Okay. So with the draft, I wanted to draft something in my first round that was very good. Problem that I foresaw was that we had 14th pick overall. Yeah. Out of 16 teams, we get 3rd to last. Yay! So with that, it was kind of a tough one because I was like, I know a lot of people are going to pick stuff out of the S tier. First overall, which actually we did allow. I don't know how we allowed it, but we somehow did. Protean Greninja. Yes, it's in the league this season. Protean Greninja's there, so it was Battle Bond Greninja too. So with that, Protean Greninja went first overall. And it went to Tesla Mouse too, so we had to face him twice this year. So we had to face Protean Greninja twice, which is very good, apparently. So I'm a little worried. I'm not gonna lie, Protean Greninja, I know what it can do, and it's very scary to have to try to plan against. But I guess everybody's gonna be in the boat with that. So we also allowed things like Deoxys Speed and Deoxys Tank or Deoxys Defense Mode. So those things are also allowed in the S tier as well. So like I said, you can't stack them, but you can get at least one of them. So just because you have Protean Greninja doesn't mean an automatic win. You still got to build a good team behind it. So like I said, with my first pick, it finally came down to me 14 picks later. Things were getting off the board, like Protean Greninja was off the board, Pheromosa was gone, Lele was gone, Magearna was gone. I was really kind of hoping to try to grab Magearna if I could, but I pretty much expected when I saw my draft list that it would never make it down that far. I was like, if it makes it past pick number 5, I'd be surprised at this point. And it did not. So it actually went 2nd overall, I believe, to Deebs. So congrats to Deebs on getting Magearna. So I was like, okay, how are we going to do this? I was like, you know what, let's try to build with my playstyle, and let's build with some mons that I played with before. So with that, I decided there was one mon I wanted that I always wanted to use. I always want to use it in League format because I think it's an absolute monster. It's a great mon to use. And with my first pick overall, I decided to grab a mon that I have great experience with that is a just physical powerhouse and wall breaker. I decided to grab Landorus T, aka Toph. Now Landorus T, we know what it does. We know the sets that it has. There's a wall breaking set, there's the scarf set, there's the bandit set, which the bandit set is just a wall break and a half. There's a mixed attack set. There is a mixed attack set. It does happen. There's a defensive wall set. Defensive wall Rocky helmet set that I've used before. And he's also a hazard setter. Things I wanted to get in him on was just a lot of versatility. And I actually really like Lando T. Out of all of the 3 of the Gen 5 legendaries, I really like Lando T. Lando is probably one of my favorites. Is my favorite of the 3. So I'm not always happy about quad weaknesses, but it's Lando T. You gotta, you can give and take. Gotta give and take with it. With that, it came back to me really quickly, probably 5 6 picks next to me. So when we get near the end, it's pretty much like when it comes down as snake drafts do. I am pretty close to picking again, and then we have the long wait as it goes all the way to the bottom and comes back up. But with the next pick, I was like, you know what, let's get something out of the Mega / S tier. And I decided, I was like, you know what, I don't want, all of the really good non-ones are gone. Like, I was like, okay, you know, what would be good to have? Like, hey, you know what would be good to have? Kyurem Black would be. But no way, it didn't even last. It didn't even last. I would have drafted it before Lando T. But, so we had to deal with that. So I was like, okay, I need something that is another powerhouse. Something that gives me some turn, as this one also gives me turn. But something also that just hits like a truck. And I was like, okay, well, what goes with it? And I was looking at it before, and I was kind of debating as, you know, something that hits hard as to something that is well-rounded. And I was really looking at Mega Venusaur for the longest time, just because I felt Mega Venusaur was really good, would be really good. But then when Lele out there, I'm kind of iffy about picking it up, just because Lele literally one-shots it. And you don't outspeed it, especially Scarf Lele. Scarf Lele just doesn't outspeed it. And so I didn't want to get caught, you know, in having to decide whether he's going to Scarf himself into Psychic or something else. So I just decided, I was like, you know what, let's pick this other Mon. This other Mon gives me priority. And actually, I don't think I battle Lele this season, which is very nice for me. And I will take that all day, every day. But I wanted something that hit hard, something that had some priority, something that had turn. And so with the second pick, with my second pick of the draft, I decided to pick up my Mega, which is Mega Scizor, aka Gurren. So I have experience with using Mega Scizor, Season 3 RBL. I've used it. I know it sets. It's a defogger, a wall breaker, a slow turner. It can do things. The stats on the screen are after Mega Evolution, so those are its stats after Mega Evolution. And I always think Mega Scizor is a really good mon. It's a fairy killer. It's what it does. It's just what it does. It kills fairies. There are not very many fairies that outlive it. It stab bullet punch pretty much just about one-shots most fairies. And it hits like a truck. You know, getting technician boosted priority is always great, especially stab technician boosted priority. So with that, I definitely like Mega Scizor. I think he fits well with the team. It also resists ice, which he can come in and take an ice beam, as he does resist it. And with 100 special defense, it's not actually all that bad. He can actually survive and take relatively little amounts of damage. So with that, looking at it, I now have 2 quad weaknesses, 1 to fire and 1 to ice. I wanted something with this, and I was actually talking with Loco, and we were talking about things to get. We knew we wanted one mon for certain, but we were like, we saw this, you know, we were kind of thinking about what to build as a core and what to put together as a core. And we were starting to get some stuff. We were like, okay, we knew we had some potential, but we needed a really, really good core to center it around and something to help build that core. And so with the next one, we decided to get this one first, because we felt the other one would drop as it came from the top down to the bottom. So I knew I was going to get my next pick within like 5 picks. So I was pretty sure it would last 5 picks for the next one after this to fall to me again. So I couldn't let this one go, as it is a quad resistant to ice, as it is also immune to fire, which is very, very good. So with that, we decided to draft Heatran, aka Fajita. Fajita, the Heatran here. Heatran, we know what it does. It is a wall breaker, especially offensive wall breaker. It is a trapper. It is a defensive. It's especially defensive wall. It could be a defensive wall too if you wanted to be. 106 in the defenses is not bad. Bulk, and it's 90. A lot of HP bulk at 91. It's also another hazard setter. So within the first 3 turns, we have 2 hazard setters and a defogger, which is really good, which is something I was liking, because I always like setting up my rocks, and I like to if I can, I like to try and set up rocks when I can. So with that, I really like what Heatran brings to the team. I have never had a chance to use one before, but I've used it a little bit on Showdown, but not too horribly much, as I really do look forward to actually getting a chance to build with it this season, and to see what it can do. So with that, it comes back around. Excuse me. It comes back around, and of course, this mon fell like I thought it would. This one definitely helps round the core, as it helps resist everything that these things are weak to. Ice, resisted. Fire resistant, Earth immune. This mon covers all 3 of the weaknesses from the other 3 perfectly, and something that helps round the core. And so with the next mon, and my 4th pick of the draft, I decided to pick up Rotom Wash, aka Tide HE. We know what Rotom Wash is. It is a pain in the ass to deal with. It's a Rotom Wash. Good Scarfer, a Volt Turner, a Tricker, a defensive wall of any type. 107 in both defenses. It's as defensive as as Heatran here, but it just doesn't have the bulk HP that the others do. 105 of the special attack. 86 speed. Not bad speed either. You know, we know what it does. It's a Rotom Wash. If you don't know what it does, you haven't been playing OU. And I've spent a decent amount of time in OU, so I know the sets Rotom can do. So it's, you know, it also gives me a Will-O-Wisper. It gives me a Thunder Wave and a Toxic. Something that has the trifecta of status, as I like to call it. Always love the trifecta of status. I felt this mon rounds the core really well. And with Heatran and then we have 2 wall breakers in Scizor, and we have wall breaking in Landorus T as well. You know, it just opens up a lot of sets and a lot of ideas for what we can do with them, which is always good, because you always want to have multiple uses for mons. And so with that, I felt that this was the best mon to have, and I'm really happy that it actually fell. So I was a little worried that it wasn't going to. With the next pick, we wait our turn, and there was a lot of stuff. Well, one thing we knew we wanted, as we were like, dude, if we round out this core, if we round out the fire water grass core, we gotta pick something really, really good. And originally we wanted Tangrowth or Amoonguss. Unfortunately, it didn't last. Those 2 didn't last all the way to pick up to us. Hell, Delmise and Decidueye didn't even last. So like a lot of people chose grass on the way down. So it was like I picked water, and then everybody picked water, and then like coming back up, somebody picked grass, and so a bunch of people picked grass. I was like, great. So Tangrowth was gone, Amoonguss was gone, and it just sucks because that would have really rounded out this fire water grass core that we had. It would have been a really good coverage just for all of it. As if I could have got Amoonguss, it would have been a fairy resist on top of earth resist on top of, you know, just resistances for electric and grass and all of that. And so it's just they would have covered each other very well, but it just didn't work that way. So with that, we had to look at it, and we were like, okay, what can we get that's, you know, could be good? And so we were looking at it like this. I was like, okay, well, there's this mon, and this mon does provide the roles and does fit the team for what we can do. It gives me a fairy. It gives me somebody who can be a heal beller as well, which at this time I didn't have a heal beller. So with the next pick and my 5th pick in the draft, I decided to pick Gardevoir, aka Urza Scarlet. I name all my Gardevoirs Urza Scarlet, as when it mega evolves, it has that dress, and I think of you know, Titania, Queen of the Fairies. And so I'm a big Fairy Tail fan, so I always name my Gardevoirs Urza Scarlet. But with that, I think this is a very good addition to the team, as it adds 115 special defense, as it's a very good specially defensive wall, as it's also a very good Scarfer. It gives me access to Trace, which is really, really good and underrated. So I mean, you could trace things like Sheer Force, you know, Trace Sheer Force, and then, you know, just hit something with a Psychic or a Moonblast, and it's like added extra power. Or you could trace things like, hey, they have Sandrush Excadrill. Well, I have Scarf Sandrush Gardevoir now, you know, with Focus Blast. Kaboom. So something like that, I think is really good. And I think it just rounds the team very well. And it gives me, like I said, gives me Heal Beller, which at the time I didn't have, so statuses would have been very, very bad for us. But we've immune to that deficiency. So yeah, with that, we go into the next round. It comes back around 5 picks later. This one I decided, I was debating between Gardevoir and this pick as to what to get next, and I decided this one would probably fall, as a lot of people had already picked their tier 2 picks already, and there weren't many picking tier 2s. As with the next pick, we knew we wanted something that was we knew we wanted something fast. At this point, as you can see, we don't have anything near 100 speed. They're all, you know, around the 90s. give or take, you know, you got a 91, you got a 77, you got an 86, you got another one that's, you know, I think it's like 85. Like we're pushing around like the mid 80s to 90s tier. So we're pushing just base tiers here. So we wanted something that was 100, something that hit fast, and something that was a great scarfer, something that scarfs great. And there's one mon on the board that I wanted to use that I have experience using that I felt is a great scarfer. And with this one, with our 6th pick in the draft, we decided to pick Staraptor, aka Altair. Now I didn't know this, but as I was looking for a nickname for Staraptor, somebody said Altair, and I was like, why Altair? So I looked up the meaning of Altair. If you don't know who Altair is, Altair ibn Ahad is from the first original Assassin's Creed game. He's the original assassin that you play as. In Arabic, his name, Altair, means bird of prey. So, a little bit of knowledge for you. I had no idea about that. So when I read that, I was like, wow, that's really cool. So now his name is going to be Altair. Especially because Altair is also my second favorite assassin, right behind... oh my god, why am I blanking on his name now? Ezio. My second favorite assassin, right behind Ezio Auditore. With that, I really like what Staraptor brings to the table. It brings a Reckless user, it brings a Intimidator, it brings me a second Intimidator, which is really good. And Reckless is nothing to joke at, as Reckless just turns stab things like Double Edge and Brightbird into just absolute wall-breaking madness. It gives me a Turner, it gives me a Defogger. So it's got 120 in the attack. You know, it does what it does well, and that is just pound things hard and weaken them, and that's what it does. And Staraptor is really, really good at that. And like I said, have a lot of experience using it, so I really like what it brings to the table and to the team. And like I said, we wanted something fast, especially because we needed something fast. So it finally goes down, it goes back to the top, and then comes back to us. We wait the long wait to make our picks. And when it gets to this pick was actually probably the most troubling pick to make in the entire draft, because I was debating so heavily between this pick and another pick that I was like, I don't know what I want. I don't know what fits the team. They're both great. They both have great things to offer. One is really fast. It hits hard. The other is, you know, decently fast, but it's got more bulk, but the other one has priority, and the other one has hazards. And I'm like, crap. I really, really, really wasn't sure what to get. So I gotta thank Bill and Nick with this one, because they helped me decide kind of which one to go with, because I was looking at it and I was like, I don't know which one to get. And I gave him, I told him, I literally probably spent 35-40 minutes making this pick, because I was debating it so hard. And with the next pick, after Staraptor, I decided that instead of getting Drapion, like kind of I wanted to get Drapion, because I felt it was really good and there was a lot of utility in what it could do. I decided to go with the power move, which was to pick up Sneasel out of tier 4, aka Shiva. Now Sneasel is not Weavile, not by a long shot, but it is fast, and in draft it's actually not as bad. In draft, I've seen people use it and just absolutely wreck shop with it. It gives me priority ice shard, so anything quad weak gives me something to hit. It gives me priority to just either break the berry or get it killed. It's frail as hell, not gonna lie, frail as hell. 75 in special defense, 55 in the defenses. Quad weak to fighting. A lot of quad weaknesses, actually. But what it does is it wall breaks and it traps. This gives me Pursuit Trapper and Ice priority, which is exactly what I wanted. 95 special attack, 95 attack is good. Not the best. I mean, Weavile's attack is higher for obvious reasons. But still, 95 attack is very good. You can run the Bandit set, you can run the Scarf set, you can run Life Orb, you can run a bunch of different things. And it just makes this Pokemon good. It's fast. There aren't a lot of mons in the draft that get up past 115. There's just, I felt having Dark and having Ice together as a typing, though it does give me a quad weak to fighting, it is still very good, and it does do things very well, and it's exactly what I wanted, was something that could do something like that. It's also, a quad weak dragon killer, as what it does is Ice Shard pretty much kills just about any dragon. that is quad weak to ice. It gives me Icicle Crash, it gives me Low Kick, it gives me Knockoff, Stab Knockoff, it gives me Pursuit. So it definitely does work itself into into things like this, which is very good for us. So like I said, it was probably the most debated pick that I had this entire draft, just because I wasn't, I knew kind of how I wanted to go with the team, but I wasn't sure exactly how I wanted, which one was going to be the better fit. But Sneasel ended up making the cut here. So with that, it goes down to the bottom, comes back up, 5 picks later. And with this one, this was a pick that I wanted. This one was my own personal want pick. It wasn't something I asked around for, or I didn't, consult anybody about. This was one pick I wanted, just personally myself, that I made for myself. And so with the next pick in the draft, I wanted something that could potentially stop setup sweepers. Could also reverse sweep you if you're not careful, as that's something I wanted. I wanted something that could, hey, I just set up and I have this badass Mon. Oh, that probably wasn't a good idea. So something that kind of deters away from setup sweepers, just because this Mon could reverse sweep you with the setups that you've just done. And so with that, I decided I wanted Ditto, aka Fuka. If you don't know what Fuka means, Fuka in Japanese means hooker. Since we know that Ditto is the whore of the Pokemon world for breeders. So it is the mother of all Pokemon, just because it breeds all Pokemon besides legendaries and mythical Pokemon. But I mean, roles, whatever you wanted to do. Literally the only thing I could think of to put for the roles was just whatever you want. It's a Ditto. There's not much to ask about it. It's, what does it do? It transforms into the Pokemon that's in front of it. That's what it does. That's what it's good at. It's good at taking your setup sweeper that has the advantage and reverse sweeping you with your own setup sweeper. It's like, hey, what do I do with, oh god. I've seen, that's the reason why in the MPL I couldn't bring Scarf Lele, was because I didn't want to get reverse swept by my own Scarf Lele, because Cap had the Ditto, and so I had to plan for that. So I mean, it does suck, because I could have, if and he did bring it, but I would have liked to have brought Scarf Lele or something like that to that battle, because I felt it would have been really good, but I couldn't, because Ditto. Ditto deters a lot of people from bringing a lot of setup sweepers, or you get something in that's like sometimes something on somebody's team works horribly well against them, and so you get them on, like, let's say they're weak to Weavile and I have Sneasel. Oh no, Sneasel's down. Hey, I'll just bring it in on their Weavile, revenge kill their Weavile, and then now I have their Weavile to use against them, which is the worst part of their entire team. So with that, I think it's like I said, this is just a Mon I wanted to get personally for myself. I like it. I like using it. I like bringing it in to reverse sweep people with it. I think it's a great thing. Plus, it's also really great at scouting sets. You never know. Bring it in on Klefki. Boom. They got a Klefki, whatever. Now you have a Klefki. You can set up 3 layers of spikes before they can. Yeah, they're going to get spikes set up, but now they have to worry about it too. So I really like what Ditto brings to the table. And like I said, it was my own personal one, my own personal pick. So sometimes you got to get personal with things like this, as you got to pick something that you're good with. So it goes back down, it goes back up to the top and then back. So we make the long wait again. A lot of things are falling off the board. So with this pick, I wanted something that hit hard. I wanted something that had just kind of utility in what it does. I want something that wall breaks, but also something that could just change what it does on the fly. So with this Mon, I have a little bit of experience using it, but not too horribly much. But with this Mon, I wanted, because what it offers me is dual type, and for the tier it was in, I felt it was a really great bargain pick for the tier it was in, as it was put into tier 4. So with that, I decided to pick up Meloetta, aka Hitsune Mika. So Meloetta here has two different forms. It has its base form, which is the Aria form, which is a very, very hard-hitting special attacker. Decent speed, 90s in the speed. And it hits, everybody knows the Calm Mindset and the Spec set, as it just hits hard. But there's also the Pirouette form, which is 128 speed with 128 base attack, and it gains fighting typing. So this also gives me a possible Dark Deterrent, as it just hits like a truck, is what it does. I have seen Pirouette form Meloetta just actually go off and obliterate somebody's team because they were expecting the Specs or Calm Mind version, and he ended up bringing the Pirouette version, and it just absolutely decimated the team because he had nothing that was faster, and so he just walked through and just obliterated it. So, but like what it does, it's wall breaking on both sides. Setup sweeper, heal bell air. This gives me another heal bell air because at the time I only had one. A volt turn. Sorry, not a volt turner. This gives me a U-turner. It gives me a physical and a special wall breaker in one mon, so it's just always good. Anything that you can do, though you have to choose which way you want to take it at that point. It's not like it can't really do a mixed set on that. So I'm actually excited to use Meloetta. I think it'll be a great addition to the team, as it gives me really good stuff to use it on. So with that we're getting towards the end of the draft, and I wanted Meloetta before somebody snagged it from me, as I felt it was a very valuable part of the team. The problem was that I was going to get Haxorus this time, and it got sniped by 6-foot Hax, which sucks because I really actually wanted Haxorus, but it is what it is. As it is, I decided I want a dragon. I want my next tier 3 pick, and I'm gonna pick up my next tier 3 out of this tier. So I'm trying something new that I have never tried, and I've never actually had a chance to play with this mon. I played against it, but I have not actually got to play it. I like the resistances that it brings to me, as it gives me a neutral fairy resistance, just because of its typing, but it also gives me somebody who hits like a truck. I mean, he really does, and it gives me somebody who has the ability adaptability, which adaptability is freaking hard. And when you have things like dragon and poison as your adaptabilities, that opens a whole new ball game. So with that, you should probably already know my next pick is Dragalge, aka Mizuchi Gu. Now in Chinese, Mizuchi is the name of a dragon in their Chinese lore, and Gu means poison, so it's a poison dragon. What this does gives me is another hazard setter, as this gives me toxic spikes and something to soak up toxic spikes with. This gives me a wall breaker, special wall breaker, as I've seen the Specs adaptability set just absolutely decimate somebody. I mean, it just, if you don't have a switch in for adaptability Draco Meteor, something is taking a lot of damage. Something is taking damage. It also has really good move pool, and it allows me to hit and weaken things and get things within range of other mons. Even if it ends up dying, if I can get the biggest threat on that team, on their team, down because Draco Meteor put it at like 2%, I'll take it all day, every day. So 123 special defense, which I didn't actually realize its defenses are actually much higher than I expected it to be, because like I said, I've never used it before. So I'm gonna have to kind of really work with it and see what I can do with it. So it's a very high special defense, which is actually really cool. It sucks because I would have liked to have gotten Gudra, just because the move pool on Gudra is really, really good, but unfortunately it is in tier 2 and not in tier 3. So if it was tier 3A, that would have been nice. I would have picked it up. It probably would have been gone already, but I would have picked it up probably before Meloetta. But it is what it is. But I'm excited to use Dragalge. I think Dragalge is a little underrated, because there are other dragons that are better than it. Yes, I'll admit, but I think it's underrated just because it can hit hard. It just needs a little bit of a boost, and it's just slow. I think that's its only weakness, is that it's slow. If it were faster, like if it had less special defense by like probably 30 points, and it had 30 more points in speed, so if it was base 74, this thing would probably hit a lot harder. Maybe even just 20, 10 more in the HP stat would probably make it a little bit better, even if it, so. But I'm excited to use Dragalge. I think Dragalge is going to offer me another way of dealing with fairies. It also gives me fighting resistance, as poison resists fighting, and it also gives me resistance to something else. forgot what it gives me. Resistance. I think it gives me like quad resistance to grass as well, which is really nice. So, especially for something. I lost track of what I was going. So with that, we finally get to the last pick. It comes all the way down. It comes all the way down from the top, and we get to the last pick. As a lot of things are off the board, and I was kind of debating between this pick too. This one took me a little while to kind of understand how I wanted to take it, as I wasn't sure if I wanted to try to get a bulky trick room setter, as I was going to maybe try to use a trick room type of team, but I realized I was like, my speed tiers are so average that I doubt it would work that well with this team. So I just decided to pick up something that I wanted, something that gives me another hazard setter, another heal beller, and also a decent wall breaker as well, as I decided to pick up my last pick in Livani, aka Lipe. So this one gives me kind of a physical wall breaker. It gives me a decent speed at 92, which is not bad. It gives me a hazard setter with webs, which I always like webs. A utility stat, a heal beller. It hits hard. It has stab grass, stab bug, which, you know, some teams are weak to bug, some teams are weak to grass. As this does round out the fire water grass core, but I mean, it would have been better to have. I'm not gonna lie, I would have loved to have had Tangrowth. Tangrowth would have been the better option here. Or Amoonguss, as Amoonguss would have been actually really great, but unfortunately it's just not the way it is. So yeah, but yeah, I like Livani, as I like what it offers the team. I think it offers a lot of utility that I think I was missing, because as you can see, I got some really good physical wall breakers and a lot of good physical power, but I've also backed it up with some good special power and some good defensive units. So this is the team. Here it is again. We have Landorus T, Mega Scizor, Heatran, Rotom Wash, Gardevoir, Staraptor, Sneasel, Ditto, Meloetta, Dragalge, and Livani. So I'm really interested in using this team because I know there's a lot of interesting elements to this team that will definitely play well into this. So I'm uncertain. I'm actually kind of iffy about who's going to be the MVP of this season out of this team. I know a lot of things offer a lot of different things. Like I said, I love Lando T, but Staraptor is really good, and then Sneasel has its priorities, and then there's just Ditto. So I like how I built the team. I like how it is, and thank you again to Reckless Bat, Nick, Bill Standish, our buddy, who's also doing the logo and who's also doing the thumbnails and layouts for us, and he also did the nice what is it in the upper left hand corner that you see there, the league symbol. That was all done by Bill, so really cool. Thanks, Bill, for that. And then Local Ghoul, thank you for all the advice he gave me and helping me with helping me find the parts that I was missing. So with that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, please like, comment, subscribe. Like I said, the first week will be uploaded on the 17th. So come back 17th of April, see how week 1, where we face off against the Brisbane Heatran, and that is coached by Changi77, as Brisbane Heatran have a really good team. So I don't know if there's going to be a team builder. Might be a team builder in the beginning, but he does have a decently good team, good regenerator core. He's the one who snapped Tangrowth from us, so we're gonna definitely have to make him pay for that. But he also has a lot of good options there. So I'll see you guys in the next video, and have yourselves a great day. All right.